When previous highs are removed, price projections become more challenging. Based on my predictions, we should be able to go through the 73,000 mark before the year ends and likely finish in the 100 range. Although that was a year ago, at its current price of 70 trillion bitcoins, the market cap of gold is at 13 to 14 trillion, and at its current price of 15 trillion, it's easily outstripped Bitcoin, so we're worth a tenth of a dollar. Generation Z and millennials will be the ones to inherit that wealth when baby boomers pass away. A lot more of them will like cryptocurrency. Those that are anti-crypto tend to be older and have more gray hair. In light of this, is it feasible that we could reach 25% gold in 2 years? Might be a lot, but it's just a guess. But I'd wager that in a decade from now, we're worth $1 million. 15 years, perhaps, this pattern will persist. Some have speculated that the bull run in Bitcoin has ended as the price has not recovered to its March all-time high. On the other hand, McCrypto has discovered that this is not the case, and it implies that Bitcoin is actually preparing for the second part of its bull cycle. When regular people start buying stocks, it's called a bull cycle. Neither the 2017 nor the 2021 cycle saw Bitcoin reach its all-time high until a large number of individual investors entered the market. A decrease in the influx of billions of dollars has been occurring for months, causing a price adjustment and consolidation after fueling the surge to $73,700 in March. Perhaps a shift is on the horizon. In accordance with the measurements of whale and realized cap, smaller whales and regular investors' money flows are analyzed using this methodology. According to recent reports from McCrypto, major market participants have been taking advantage of the decline. With the 10 to 100 BTC cohorts balance on the rise, it seems like this tendency is starting to spread. In previous cycles, when Bitcoin undergoes a 20%, 30% correction, this scenario frequently signifies the beginning of a new rise. An on-chain analyst and crypto quant author named CryptoDan holds a similar perspective. The influx of tiny whales and general investors starts to expand significantly in 2024, he said, suggesting that the second half of the bull market has only just begun. This points to the potential for further capital inflow and a significant increase in Bitcoin's value in the not-too-distant future. Nevertheless, it is still possible that Bitcoin's value could fall before a new upswing starts. To further corroborate this probable rally restart, McCrypto investigated the volatility around Bitcoin. According to on-chain statistics, the volatility over the past 2 weeks increased to 0.02, a high level of volatility suggests that prices could go up or down. When volatility is low, it suggests that cryptocurrency prices are likely to remain relatively stable, and when it's high, it suggests that prices may undergo large fluctuations. How the market feels about buying and selling determines this. If individual investors continue to buy Bitcoin at a steady rate, the price might experience a sharp increase in the near future. At the start of the third quarter, Bitcoin's price might surge toward $80,000 if buying pressures intensify. Q3. But if selling pressure persists, this forecast might not come true. In short, we had a perfect storm of fear brought on by a confluence of factors, including the Federal Reserve's rate hikes in 2021 and subsequent irresponsible behavior. Even if the Fed hadn't raised rates, we would have fallen regardless of Sandbank, Manfred, Do, Kwon, BlockFi, Celsius, and every other issue. Thus, we're in a precarious situation to begin with, and the ETF approval was a huge relief. No one should discount the significance of Larry Fink's change of heart after being pessimistic for 5 or 6 years. He now believes that many portfolios would benefit from including this asset. Fink was the biggest wealth manager in the world at the time. And so, even though there are 11 exchange-traded funds, Larry actually made it easy for everyone to include Bitcoin institutional investors in their portfolios. The adoption process is lengthy, but it has begun. The halving, in which the inflation rate is decreased in half, also occurred at the same period. Just pretend you possessed an asset announced to everyone. Guess what? We have just halved the inflation rate. Your other asset is also subject to inflation. Oh, that's quite high, and it's increasing, isn't it? And it's in dollars, euros, or yen. The result is a world where deflationary assets coexist with inflationary ones. Since prices are always determined on the margin, we enjoyed a good run. Bitcoin is sold by a small number of vendors. Many of its purchasers hold a nearly religious belief in it. Michael Saylor is obviously not going to sell his Bitcoin, unlike most others. Rather of worrying about their cash balance, these individuals focus on their net worth and the number of coins they hold. While obviously not all, that does constitute a substantial portion. As a result, employee turnover is low. Finally, pay attention, this is where the work is solidifying. What the Federal Reserve does is uncertain. The Federal Reserve's decision to lower interest rates will cause cryptocurrency prices to rise. It might grind higher anyways, only with the impression that gold, silver were. We are beginning to doubt that our current approach of overseeing the US and global economies will prove beneficial. For anything that valuable, that's what the going rate is. Just pretend for a second that Bitcoin is some kind of digital kind of gold, and its expansion is directly proportional to the rate of acceptance. This occurs when individuals hear something explained to them and then believe it. Therefore, Bitcoin is essentially sold rather than purchased, isn't it? Just take the orange pills. In spite of the fact that I am more successful trading, I am fundamentally a salesman. We come from a long line of salespeople. My mother was one of them, and so were my brothers and sisters. Therefore, I found it to be completely natural. There was a point when I considered selling it. I recently made this statement on television. I was referring to Elizabeth Warren's pet rock. And I was like, guys, the arrogance that's coming out of your mouth is shocking, right? Even if some of the world's top investors, including Ray Dalio, Jeff Yoss, Abby Johnson, Paul Jones, Stan Druckmann, Pete Brigger, and Mickey Milker believe there's value, you're the smartest of the bunch. Indeed, Elizabeth, you possess a level of intelligence that surpasses even the most seasoned investors on the planet. You are under no need to appreciate it, but I would prefer that you not be so conceited as to claim it is worthless, just because those individuals thought it had value. Since I believed this was a brilliant concept with the potential to go viral, I saw its value right away. Satoshi foresaw the rise of populism, therefore he came up with an idea that would be popular. Brexit was a boon for cryptocurrency the second it occurred. Because of this, we have set up the economic and political conditions where Bitcoin can flourish. That is why I brought up precious metals like gold and silver so that tangible assets can prosper. Additionally, hundreds of millions of people around the world adore Bitcoin, a digital hard asset.